Hello, everyone. We have a CELPIP speaking session today. So we have a wonderful day today, and we have wonderful people here. Our friends here, Mr. Partik and Mr. Rod here from Polar Bear English. Last week we had, I think a couple of weeks ago, we had one session that was reading CELPIP session. So it was so helpful for the students, especially those who are here in Canada. They are preparing for their postgraduate work permit. They need to have the CELPIP score or IELTS score ready. Nowadays, I get the feedback from students that CELPIP is wonderful, like, it is completely computer based. So many are preferring CELPIP examination. So here we have the session, especially focusing on the speaking module. So welcome, Rod and Patrick. Over to you, right?
Thank you. Yeah, we're very happy to be here, and hope everybody that's tuning in is doing well. We're going to be talking today about the popular speaking section of CELPIP. So a lot of people ask about this section, and we're very happy to be working again alongside Bijo and Rod, who is our one of our official CELPIP instructors, and he has his own prep company called Polar Bear English, which is official as a CELPIP training center. So, yeah, we're happy to dive into that section today, and we'll try to take any questions that come up from the audience. So, Rod, you can take it away now.
Thank you very much. Well, welcome back, and welcome to the new people. Hopefully, word got out that it was a good session last week. I
Definitely.
will do my best to keep my speed a little bit slower. I teach at Sheridan College as well in Toronto, and the concern that my students have is we can't follow you. It's too fast. So I think part of today, I'd like to talk about delivery, not just content. Content is great. And we were talking a little bit earlier about AI and using ChatGPT as a coach, right? You can tell ChatGPT, this is my current English level. I'm trying to get a better score in CELPIP. Here is a sample question. What sort of answer would score me a 7 or an 8 or a 9 or whatever your goal is? And then let it give you a sample answer. AI does get things wrong a lot. I actually have a document ongoing now of the errors and sort of arguments that I've had with ChatGPT, and highlighted the areas where it says, oh, you're right. And I'm like, what? I'm the human. You're the computer. So be cautious about AI. And don't memorize an answer. All right. This is another really key thing. But if there are words in that answer or phrases in that answer that you go, oh, that sounds really good, steal it. Steal it and make it part of your answer. You may even want to, at the beginning, write a few answers. And if you write answers and read them, especially out loud so that your ears can hear them, you might notice things about pronunciation or pauses or word stress or intonation that maybe you didn't even know you were doing. It sounds odd. And it really just depends on how seriously you want to take this, because this is something where one point can make all the difference for the rest of your life. Don't mean to sound too dramatic or anything, but this is a high stakes English test. So train for it the way you would train for an athletic event. You don't go on a 10K race having not trained, right? This is the same kind of thing. It's a 3-hour marathon, and you will leave tired, and hopefully the practice and training that you did ahead of the assessment, I don't really call it a test, but the assessment, pays off, and you're relaxed enough to be able to demonstrate your skills. So it is rather strategic. So if you write your answers or a few sample answers, read them out loud, get to a point where you can record yourself the way a professional athlete would. A professional tennis player will take a video camera, or now these days an iPhone or a cell phone, whatever, and set it up at the side of the court, and then have a bucket of tennis balls and practice serving one after the other after the other. Then we'll go back with the coach and watch that video and recognize things that you don't realize you're doing because you're you. You're on the inside. You need to be on the outside and looking in. Professionals do this, you know. My brother's in radio. He's been a radio announcer for years. Still, he records his show and does a check. He'll just listen into spots where he did his breaks, his announcements, and he'll just make sure he sounds okay, he's clear, the speed is all right. He's been doing this for decades, and he still does it. It's a method of self-reflection, self-check. You could name it a number of different things. So the point is, it all depends on your level of seriousness in terms of taking the test. Let me, Bijo, did you want to add anything? I can go to my.
I'm good.
My
I'm
shares.
good. I'm good. I'm
Okay.
good. You can continue, please.
Okay, so let's go to my share screen.
Sure.
And let's see how this works. And let me come up here.
Yeah. I can help you with that right now.
All right. And let me just see if I can make this full screen.
Yeah.
All right. Are we good?
Yeah, we are good.
All right. I can't see you anymore, so you'll have to let me know visually if anything is off.
Yeah, we can see everything clear now.
Fantastic. Well, again, thank you very much for coming. Patrick did a lovely introduction. I am a CELPIP trainer, did my instructor training a few years ago now. My background is in psychology from McMaster University. So I use techniques from psychology to help students acquire information and then retain it so that it can be recalled later. There are things that we can do to help the neurons remember information, move it from short-term memory into longer-term memory. I've been an English teacher for 10 years now and grew up with an English teacher. My mom was an English teacher from England, actually. So as we were growing up, it was very strict. Everything had to be on point, we say. Everything had to be perfect. Okay, that's the bottom line. It had to be perfect. And I'm so thankful now because having good communication skills it makes all the difference. And as I was saying earlier, it's not just the words, it's delivery. Just to let you know, I did do the test. I had to do it as part of a certification process, and it turned out okay. But let me tell you, you now know my background. I trained for this. And people say, but with all of the stuff that you do, why did you train for this? I said, because I'm not just learning the language. I don't have to learn the language. What I need to learn is the test. What are the expectations? What do they want to hear? How do they want to hear it? How can I voice act my way through this to demonstrate the highest level possible? I don't want to go in shy and be like, I better play it safe. No. If you play it safe, you're not giving the examiner an opportunity to hear your 4-syllable words. So practice and modify and edit and see if you can with your script, your pre-prepared answer, to increase the value of the vocabulary a little bit, and then rehearse it over and over and over, the same one over, record it, listen to it, work on some connected speech, work on the schwa. If you're not familiar with that, you might want to Google SCHWA. A lot of my students have never heard of that before. It is the most common vowel sound in English. So there are a few things to know. Know what the expectations are. Let me just bypass a few things here. Okay. The CELPIP, it's important to recognize that there's no fail on the test, but you might fail to meet your objective, right? But it's a scale, it's like a speedometer, and you just, it goes up to 12 or 120, whatever you'd like to say. And it matches the CLB. Some other tests don't match the CLB, and then you have to get a conversion chart and figure out, if I get this in this test, what does that work out to CLB? CELPIP and CLB are exactly the same because CELPIP is a Canadian test. When you get more comfortable with some of the tasks that they give you, task 1, task 2, start to use a stopwatch. Start to use a timer, your phone, your computer, wall clock, whatever, because you want to train your brain to know what 60 seconds feels like or what 90 seconds feels like, because that's how long you'll have to speak. There is a bar, blue and white bar, that changes color as time progresses through your answer, so you know I'm getting close to the end. But if you don't know what 90 seconds sounds like or feels like, and you speak for 30 seconds and think that's enough, you're in trouble. And you can't repeat yourself, so you'd better be creative, fast. Much better to be prepared. Know what 60 seconds feels like. Know what 90 seconds feels like. Train for it like a marathon. Know what the kilometer 5 feels like. Know what kilometer 7 feels like. Go through it a few times. Then watch the bar, and don't let the bar freak you out. This is the psychological readiness. Don't let the bar freak you out. The bar is not saying, hurry up, come on, you better get it done or you're going to be in big trouble. No, the bar is saying, by the time I get halfway, you should be around halfway through your answer. And when I get down to 3/4, you should be thinking about your conclusion. When I get down to the very end, you should be ending your thought. And it's okay to have a few seconds at the end of silence. Don't talk through the ending. Even if you have more to say, just, you see that clock running out? So that's your coach. Okay, the timer on the test is your coach. It's not your enemy. Part of the psychological readiness. Also, Patrick and I always say, sleep well. The errors, the famous errors that have been made, if you were to Google what catastrophes have been attributed to a lack of sleep, you'll be astonished. Another word for amazed. Another word for surprised. Okay. So this is a very short part of the test because you're speaking, you're not editing and changing words. Once it's out, it's out. We say once the toothpaste is out of the tube, you can't put it back. Yep. So that's the benefit of practicing. The tasks get progressively more difficult. We will take a look at these, and I'm going to go through them a little bit more quickly because in order for this to be interactive, I would love to hear if you have any questions. You can write them in the chat. Sample questions for task 3. Oh, sorry, that's a describe a scene. Sample questions for task 2, for example. Sample questions for task 5 or 6 or 7. Patrick will probably look for some as well, so we can talk about a bit of a variety. When I say 30-90, that's 30 seconds to prepare and 90 seconds to speak. Watch the instructions for things like left on voicemail. You sort of have to act that you've been waiting and the message has gone through and then beep, and then you can say, oh, hey, sorry I missed you, and then go into your answer because you're indicating that you understand what voicemail is, right? So you're using the question to sort of give you some ideas on creativity. And it says you're talking to a friend. So it's not, well, I think when you come to Toronto, it would be a good idea. No, it'd be, dude, how are you? Oh my, I have not talked to you in so long. Let me tell you, we're going to have such a good time in Toronto because it's natural. It's fun. It's energetic. It's your friend. So your character, the character that you're playing has to come out a little bit. That drama that I have in my voice, you don't want to overplay it, but you want to let the examiner know that you know how to stress certain words. You're comfortable with the rhythm as opposed to something that sounds a little bit more robotic and AI. 30-60, this is tell a story. Tell a story. Don't copy words from the question. whatever the question says, if you would like to restate the question to start your answer, don't use the same words. Because if you use the same words, the examiner says, this person probably doesn't understand any of those words. And they just copied what we've said already. Points, 0. So paraphrase. Get good at finding another word. I just gave you 3 options for, amazing, surprising, stupendous. So there's always ways to paraphrase. Describing a scene, 30-60. I would do most of your training here. It's a sort of a 2-part question, but they've split it up into 2 tasks. So the first part is describe what you see. The second part is make a prediction, or predictions plural, about what you think might happen next. Don't confuse those 2. On test day, in part 1, don't talk about what you think might happen next. And in part 2, don't describe anything. Right? You've done those. Keep those things separate from each other. I personally prefer to start in the background and describe the scene. See, if I tell you there's a man with a camera, I have no idea where we are. Are we on a mountain? Are we at a birthday party? Are we in a restaurant? Is it a photo studio? Is somebody getting their passport picture taken? I got nothing, right? But if we start with, this is an illustration. It's a really colorful illustration. It's outside. We're outside. It's daytime. And I can see in the background there are some hills or mountains. But in the main part of the picture, it's a river with a little bridge. And the river has a truck that it's fallen into. The truck is driven into the river. And on the bridge, on the left, I can see da-da-da, and in the middle, I can see da-da-da, and on the right, I can see the crane and the blah, blah, blah. In the foreground, that's the part closest to me, on the left, I can see a man who is injured and he's being tended to by what I think are paramedics, and they're wearing white outfits. And at the bottom on the right is somebody taking pictures. He's crouching. He's wearing a tan-colored jacket and jeans. And he's taking pictures, it looks like, of the firefighters who are removing gas from the truck. Right? There's no time to talk about everything. You can't. It looks like there's a dog catcher here. It looks like there's a dog here. I didn't talk about the kids. I didn't talk about the archway. I didn't mention the firefighter with the paramedics. I didn't mention the stretcher. I didn't talk about the colors of the ambulance or the green of the... There's just no time. So pick those things that are most important. Describe people by what they're wearing and what they're doing. Brown coat, jeans, boots, crouching, taking a picture. Very descriptive. So we've got direction, background, foreground. We've got left side, right side. We've got describing colors, clothes, and actions. Then we can move to part 2. I think the photographer is going to go back, all future tense. I think he's going to go back and submit these photos to the newspaper for tomorrow's front page news, right? I think that crane that's on the right-hand side is going to lower the hook and grab the trailer, and it's going to help to pull the trailer back up onto the road. And I think the dog catcher is going to decide that he doesn't want to get his feet wet. So even though he can see the dog, he's not going swimming, so he's just going to ignore it. Silly things. It can be anything. So long as it's not, an alien ship is going to come down and scoop everybody up and take them to another planet. I mean, it can't be way out there. But anything that's remotely plausible. It's not about the idea, it's about the delivery. Comparing and persuading are 2 words that seem to confuse people. I think just this week I was saying to my students at Sheridan, to put it simply, comparing things it's more about the likenesses. It's more about the things that you see that are similar between the 2, and you could point out obvious differences. Contrasting them is more about the differences. So when we hear compare and contrast, compare is generally similarities, and contrasting it is what parts are different and why. So in this case, it's comparing and persuading. Well, if I'm persuading somebody, I'd better get some vocabulary ready for persuading. It would be a good idea. I suggest. Wouldn't it be great? Our best idea would be to, I highly suggest, I highly recommend. You could use things like I think, but it's a bit of a lower level phrase to start with. Make sure that you paraphrase. Don't say it's $5.50. Say it's $50 more than the other one. Don't say that it's a strong desk. How about it's a sturdy workstation? Right? It's not 1 year of insurance. It's 12 months of money back guarantee. Something. You can modify it a little bit. Just show that you understand the concept of what it is that you're reading. This is a difficult one. This is really one where voice acting comes into play because you're dealing with a situation where you could hurt somebody's feelings. So it might be, and I can't recall if I have an example later, but it might be something like, your best friend wants to come and visit you for 2 months this summer, but your partner really doesn't like this person because of a previous interaction that went bad. You can either A, tell your friend why they cannot stay with you, or B, tell your partner why they should be able to stay with you. Right? Either one is going to create a situation where you need to be tactful, careful with your vocabulary, not offensive, convincing. So all of these things caring, all of these things come into play. So when I say lend charity, we often think of charity as money, but to lend charity to an idea means to give the idea its respect and put yourself into a position where you agree with that opinion for a little while just to be able to understand it better, right? So you might have to lend charity to the fact that your partner doesn't like this person, right? You're not feeling the anger, they are, but you're lending charity. You're saying, okay, I get it, I understand. Seeing different perspectives, very important. Using words like, if you could consider, right? I have here as an example, I understand that. Jumping to conclusions is a figurative expression, and you might want to Google or ask AI for idioms and metaphors. Idioms and metaphors, because there are some that are very, very common. And if you type in 10 most common metaphors and can't remember what the other one was. All these thoughts going on in my head. It's what happens when you're a creative person. Go find the top 10 and see whether or not you're hearing them in the community. And if you are, start to add them to your vocabulary, because it makes you sound far more native when you're using the expressions that are used commonly in your area. Expressing an opinion. There's no right or wrong answer on this. Your answer will not be judged for how plausible it is or how likely it is to succeed. None of that matters. What matters is how well do you deliver your opinion. So this very bottom one here, it's being talked about again, just based on housing costs. Should there be a guaranteed basic income for all? Should everybody be guaranteed to get at least to a certain minimum? If you're making more, you still get it, right? It's not based on wealth, but it's a guaranteed minimum for everybody. Maybe $2,000 a month, maybe $1,500. Not enough that people won't work, but enough that they don't have to steal food. Do you think that's a good idea? Why or why not? Now you're like, oh my God, I have 30 seconds to talk about a social issue this big, So you really got to think quickly about what would be good, what would be bad, pick a side, and it really doesn't matter the side. In your training, practice both sides. Oh, it's a terrible idea. People won't work. They'll get lazy. They'll get fat because they're not out working. Their brain will turn to mush, all the negative things. Oh, it would be a great idea. We would have fewer people on the streets. People wouldn't have to break into cars for change. More people would be able to eat. If you're eating well, you're thinking better. And if you're thinking better, you can get a job. So there's no right or wrong answer. Entirely up to
Hey,
you.
Rob, there's another one here too. Like, for example, do you think nowadays that people spend too much time on their cell phones?
Oh, beautiful.
Explain your reasons for
Beautiful.
task setting.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it. And I don't want to hear more of those in just a sec. This is just like describing the scene, but it's just describing something that it's weird. Usually it's artwork, right? So the prompt might say you're walking down the street, you see this picture in an art store, call your partner, describe the picture, and ask them if you can buy it. Make sure you include all three of those things. You could talk about watercolor, the turtle, clouds coming out of a broken light bulb, a pirate ship, the seagulls, the base of the light bulb, the grassy mountain, the waterfall. There's lots of the gray background, lots to talk about. If you want to spice it up, get into that AI. Get into ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. There's lots of AI platforms now. And look for some of these things. I mentioned earlier similes, metaphors, analogies. I'll give you a moment to have a look at this. I don't like to read slides. If ever you're doing a presentation for school, don't read your slides. The audience can read the slide. They read faster than you can speak. All right. There's my contact information if you would like to contact me, and we can talk about doing CELPIP training. And let me just stop my screen share here. There we go. And getting people prepared, athletically prepared for this mental gymnastics that you're going to be doing during the test. Very much a training required activity.
That was great, Rod. Very insightful.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So how did we want to do it now? Did you want me to give a couple brief updates about the test?
Yeah, that would be great.
Sounds good. Yeah. So I'll just share my screen here. Just give me a second, folks. Okay. Let's see here.
So by the time, if you have any questions, you can post in the chat here. It's about the live session is happening about CELPIP speaking. Last week we had CELPIP reading, and we had got a lot of people shared their feedbacks on the session. So reading was a tough session for many people. Like, people were not scoring better. So the session was really helpful. And hopefully this also will be a great help, because Rod has shared a lot of techniques and hacks to score well. It's all about improving your English language skills, I hope.
And yeah, English communication skills. Let's say that.
Yeah,
it's not just the language.
Rod, I have a comment here that I couldn't capture his contact info. Can you just
Sure.
repeat, or you can tell your phone number even, or can you put it in the comment box?
I will certainly put it in the comments.
Right,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Rod is offering different sessions. Those who are looking for, the training, CELPIP, he's a accredited teacher. So he runs batches online. So from any country, you can take up his courses. What's the price for the sessions, Rod?
If we can get a group together, normally, so if somebody goes by themselves,
Yeah.
I'm still using pandemic rates because the
Yeah.
training can't be more than the test, right?
Yeah.
It's $25 an hour, and we do 10 hours, so it's
Oh, that's great.
$250 if you do. I mean, obviously, the public colleges pay well hourly. I'm doing this not really for the money. I want to be able to help people. There has to be something for the equipment that I use. But if we can get 10 people together,
Yeah.
or maybe even 8 people together, and make it $100 per person, then not only do you have access to on time immediate feedback, but you also now have partners that you can pair with, share each other's contact information, get on a WhatsApp group, and that's your study pod who's going for the same maybe level that you're going for. And so there
That's
are
great.
options we can
So
do.
Rod will be posting his email ID here, so you can also contact directly him. So that'll be um, awesome. Like the people right now struggling with a writing the next time, many attempts, rather than spending too much money on without preparation. Go for the preparation, then get good results. Right. Is that ready, Patrick? Your screen? Yeah, it's here.
Can
I'm
you
just
see the
adding to you.
slides?
Yeah. I have added to
Okay,
you.
great. Yeah, so just wanted to give a couple updates here. So CELPIP, for those of you that are tuning in from Canada, CELPIP is available across the country. So we have testing centers in pretty much almost all the major cities in Canada. And we're always adding new test centers as well. So if you follow our website or our Instagram channel, you will be up to date with any new centers that we're opening up. But right now we have, I would say, over probably 100 centers in Canada. So uh, definitely there's a test center close by. If you're in India right now, we have 9 test centers in the country. The test fee there is on the left, so it's 14,500 Indian rupees plus tax. If you want to book a test in India, you can go to celpip.ca/India and complete your test registration on the CELPIP website. Just keep in mind that we do have 2 free practice tests on the CELPIP website. So if you really want to understand how does the test feel, like what's the experience like, we do have these 2 free tests that closely mimic the real test. So the format is the exact same as the real CELPIP exam. So another good thing is that you get scoring on listening and reading based on how well you do in the practice test. So it will give you live scoring for listening and reading. For writing and speaking, you'll be able to see the types of questions that will be asked and practice answering them. But that would require real people to give you a score. So you won't get feedback for those questions in the practice tests. But if you buy some of our practice tests on the website, these are in addition to the free ones. Those give you sample responses for speaking and writing at different performance levels. So you can see, like, what does a level 9 speaking response sound like for this question? So you'll have access to that. But yeah, definitely a great starting point for preparation is to take the free practice tests, and that will give you a sense of how comfortable do you feel taking the exam. I would say the best way to stay up to date with all things CELPIP is to follow us on our Instagram channel. So the ID for that is CELPIP Test Official. And if you scan the QR code right there, it'll take you directly to our Instagram channel where you can follow us. We're always going live with different special guests such as Bijo. And we're posting updates about any study product discount sales that we have, new test centers that we've opened up, any other promotions that are going on. We post it to inform test takers on our Instagram channel. So follow us on Instagram. Another thing you can do as well is if you go to the CELPIP website by scanning this code here, when you visit the website, there's going to be a pop-up at the top, or sorry, not a pop-up. If you scroll down, I'm getting confused here, my bad. If you scroll down to the bottom of the CELPIP homepage, it's going to have a section there that says subscribe to our newsletter. So if you plug in your email there, we will email you updates pertaining to CELPIP, just so you don't miss any important information with regards to the test or preparing for the test. So just to reiterate, scan the code to go to our website, scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, and there will be a section there where you can put in your email to subscribe to email notifications. Just to summarize now, these are the helpful links as well as the contact if you want to get in touch with our customer service team. So we have our email there, info@celpip.ca, and we have our toll-free number there as well. And then we have our links to all of our social medias. So we do have tons of lessons as well on our YouTube channel. But I would really recommend for those of you that have the funds, definitely consider taking online preparation classes, which is what Rod offers, because you get feedback on your responses directly from the teacher. A lot of our study products, they won't give you feedback in speaking and writing. So with his classes, you'll get that feedback directly from him, which can be really helpful. And then if you are in a group setting, you can practice together, make new friends. So it's a good environment. So this is what I have today.
Thank you. Thank you, Patrick. I have for everyone watching here, I have added Rod's number. Sorry, yeah, I'll be just posting it here right now in the chat. His contact information. Hope you have received it, and also let me add his phone number as well, if you wish to contact him for the classes. So that also you can find in the chats right away. So if you're contacting by WhatsApp, maybe like +1, we may have to add, I hope.
Correct.
Right. Yeah. So any final words would you like to share with our followers here, Rod?
I was thinking it might be a neat idea to find an online thesaurus. A thesaurus. It's like a dictionary, but instead of giving the definition of the word, it gives words that are very close, words that are in the same family. So if you find yourself using nice all the time, I looked outside and it was nice. We had a nice day. So we went out for a walk and it was really nice. And you recognize that you're repeating, go to the word nice in the thesaurus, now the online thesaurus, and look up nice, and you'll find all the words that are similar. Great, amazing, fantastic, beautiful, wonderful, delightful, so many different options. And the more options you can show the examiner, the higher your score in vocabulary goes, because you're demonstrating. So be careful about playing it safe. Add some vocabulary, and if you're adding words to your vocabulary, please don't try to memorize a list of words. It's a waste of time. Try 2. Okay? Try 2 and remind yourself to force yourself to put those words into use. Find reasons to use it, because once you've used it about 5 times, you start to own it. And once you own it, now it's going into long-term memory, and now you can start adding new words. But trying to memorize a list of 10, it's just not effective, because you're not engaging with each word enough. So just do it by 2.
Okay, that's great. I have a question about, as we are second language, English is second language for us. So when we speak, we use these kinds of words. Like this has got a connection with our mother tongue. For example, my mother tongue is Malayalam, right? So there we say that is it. But in English it is this kind of. So how do you manage it actually?
Patrick and I were both born here, and I think we have seen such a variety of different ways to communicate English, because we've been both in Toronto. It's the most multicultural city on the planet.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. As a native speaker, I say and ah and so on. So, the fact that you're making a sound while you're thinking, or the fact that it doesn't sound like the sounds that you've heard other people make when they think, don't worry about that. Just be natural. If you sound rehearsed, your mark will not be as good as if you sound authentic.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
ums and ahs and pausing, the way you would normally speak, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. And I think with everything in the test, it's they look at so many different factors to calculate your score. So just the balance, like you don't want to do something too much, anything too much. So just keep that in mind. Hopefully that makes sense.
Overuse of anything gets repetitive.
Overuse of anything,
Right?
exactly.
If you find repetition in your answers,
Yeah.
that's also the benefit of recording and listening to yourself is you go, wow, I really say that a lot. I didn't realize, right? And it comes to our attention, and then we can make corrections.
Yeah. You could also, I guess, like have a timer maybe on your cell phone and like set it for different intervals, and then get experience practicing delivering responses within those time frames, because that's how the test operates. You'll get 60 seconds, I guess, to give an answer. So what do you think about that, Rod?
Well, I think because human memory is so terrible, going along with what you are saying, I would use the prep time to write. Well, at the test center, they give you a pen and they give you paper. Use that time to prepare your answer so that you're not having to think while you're answering. You want to have thought in advance. So really all you need to do is read your bullet points. Nobody's taking pictures of you. It's audio. They send the examiner an MP3. It's not a video. So you can read your paper. They give you the paper. They give you the pen. It's not illegal. You're planning your thoughts. And then when the timer starts to speak, you don't have to be like, oh my God, I have to remember everything. What if I miss that point? And then if I forget and then I repeat my first point because I have time left over, it gets released. Then you start tightening up, right? That's when the stress happens. Write your ideas down. 3 or 4 points that you'd like to talk about. And then just sit there. Oh, and then there's this, and then there's this, and da-da-da. And if you want to look up, that's fine. You can look at your paper. There's no camera. So preparation time, absolutely.
Definitely.
Okay. I have a question about the test center setting, actually. When 10 or 15 students sitting together and writing the examination or appearing for the speaking test. So how loud we have to speak?
So it'll be like at a moderate volume level. We're also going to have test day staff walking around the room throughout the exam, just to ensure that people are speaking at like a moderate level, not too loud or too soft. So if somebody was speaking too loud, we have a sign that says "speak softly." That we'll let them know. We'll hold it up in front of them, and just to make sure that no one's talking too loud. But the test day staff is there to help. And keep in mind too, when you have your headset on, a lot of that background noise is going to be flushed out.
Cancel.
So so not to worry.
So the test center provides a microphone, everything.
The headset comes with the microphone, and
Yeah.
it's all provided by the test center. The only thing you're permitted to bring into the test room is your identification document. So typically your passport with you. Yeah.
Okay. That's great. Yeah, I don't think any other questions have come up here, and many people have thanked for the session. Natalia, Pat, and a lot of, it's not, Sanjo Varghese. So that's great. So we will have the next session. Maybe we can plan it for next 2 modules we have, that is listening and writing. So before holidays, we can plan it in December or end of November, we can have it. So we are getting good feedback here. The session was useful, and we had consistently 30 students were here attending the class.
Very good.
30 students. Thank you, everyone.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
For joining.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Take care. Bye-bye. Good
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.